Alright, Shalom Akim. Before we begin, I want to start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, I agree Muslim and the teacher and rule well. And peace and blessings be unto you, fellow Akim, your brothers that us to push out this word in truth, sincerity, and in faith. And losing in this lesson, I'm not sure if we're going to title it yet, but I just want to bring out certain scriptures concerning not too much of per se the buzz that's been going around this whole week. All right, but one thing that brothers have to remember concerning what happened in North Carolina and this whole thing that happened with Charlie Kirk, brothers got to remember that there's going to be, as always with anything that's been the talk of the world nationwide, is that there's going to be a lot of misinformation, all right, as well as one can just call it folly. All right, people that want to serve their own bellies and their own agendas. But one thing that we have to remember as men with the Lord is that, well, we have to just pump out the truth. All right, and the last thing we need, all right, is our brothers getting mixed up and on the things that are just plain up lies or things that are being brought up or posted on social media when it's just for the purpose of bigging up fake news or actual conspiracy. Quote unquote conspiracy theories. Excuse me. This is 1 John 2:20. It says, "But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things." All right, that's right. So what we have an unction, we're literally inspired by the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. So we indeed know all things, the 100% truth, all right, of the Holy Bible. So the thing is, knowing that and actually believing in that, last thing we need is actually pushing out what? Lies. All right. And another thing is the majority of what has been said, brothers definitely have to remain vigilant. All right, as well as sober. And those are going to get that in Peter's, First Peter's as well. All right. You have to remember that this is the not only is this the high time to wake out of sleep, as the scriptures say, but you have to remember that this is going to be the last leg, all right, of this wicked empire. All right, so you best believe you indeed are going to have not only false prophets, all right, but people actually putting out false information out there. And top tier example is the fact that you're going to have videos that will heavily exaggerate World War III. All right, and the thing is, you might see that with, which is not an exaggeration. You do have brothers that would put in their videos, World War III is coming soon. All right, which it is. World War III is on the, we're on the brink of nuclear annihilation, which is true, because here it is, brothers are actually putting out concrete information that concerns the end times, as is spoken about in the scriptures, man. 2 Ezra 9, all right, Amos 9, right? But nevertheless, on the other spectrum, you have Esau, you have these other nations that would put out, as well as our people, pull out those types of videos and those types of information, and it turns out it's just a bunch of, it's just shit. You know what I mean? It's just nothing, valueless, or just go around and just waste your time, or going over information that we already know, or information that's not really up to date, or of course information that's just not that hasn't been filtered, or it's just things that we don't even know, or they'll throw words out there like false flag attacks, or theories on things being an inside psyop or an inside job, like with what happened with this recent assassination, man. All right, we brothers actually have to do the due diligence to actually look things up and actually make sure that the things that brothers are putting out, or the things that are even being said, are lies. As a matter of fact, if brothers catch on that something is a lie, then for truth's sake, brothers can make a video on it as well. So I'm gonna reread this and continue on in verse 21. It says, "But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. I have not written unto you because you know not the truth, but because you know it, and that no lie is of the truth." All right, that's right. And it doesn't have to be concerning the things that are going on nowadays, but as well as even within Israel. Not to get into too much drama. All right, but even then, all right, last thing we need is just you putting out videos and just saying whatever, all right, for the sake of quote unquote content, which is not the right mindset at all. All right, because you have other people that do that too, and we're not of them. We're literally being put away from people like that just like to say shit, for the lack of better words, Select for my vulgarity, right? Well, that's not us, man. All right. The prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua are gonna do our due diligence and be sober and be vigilant of the things that we say. All right, every idle word, man. All right. This is 2 Ezra 15:1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." And that's what's been happening for this past week, right? The uproars of the people, more division. All right. And of course, that as it has been going on for weeks here in the DMV, the tri-state area, mainly DC, the National Guard. All right, these are all foreshadowing of things to come. Even with the National Guard, you know, we brothers actually live in the city. You don't see brothers pretty much heavily exaggerating the things that we see. No, we put out there what's actually being truly said, or what's been truly been happening, man. All right, and that's the beauty of the truth, is that it will cut any lie or any heavily dramatized or false narrative that people actually put out there, because the truth is truth, right? It's not subjective. It says, verse 3, "For not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." All right, yeah, that's right. And another thing is that we have to not be ignorant of Satan's devices, and we indeed are not, man. In this new world age of AI, there's so many traps and psyops that brothers can potentially fall into, and it's just amazing how much that the Spirit of the Lord actually keeps us from these things. All right, mainly on the World Wide Web, you know. Okay, and when you go into that word incredulity, it's what? The things that aren't credible, things that can't be proved that are correct. And the thing is here is concerning scoffers, right? Things that or demons mainly, that will go up and say all manner of wicked things to try to throw the men of the Lord off our course, or to defame us, which is going to happen as well. All right, but remember, you also have Esau Edom agents that will put out misinformation out there, all right, to make us look bad, you know. And then here it is, you know, Lord forbid, but another brother might fall into that trap, or other men that may that know who are Israelites, and put things out, and here it is, it's just false information, and then next thing you know, you're falling in right to the trap that Esau Edom wanted you to be in, what these agents wanted you to say to make you look bad. All right, and that's a part of their, not only is that an incredulity of theirs because it's a lie, all right, but it's also one of their many wiles, man, you know. And that's that not only do we have to be vigilant, we have to not fear these imaginations, these incredulities, man, all right, and to not let it trouble you, right? All right, we'll go to 1 Peter 5:7. It says, "Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you." Verse 8 to the point. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." And indeed, all right, this really the adversary in this day and age, of course, is the spiritual demon Satan, but as well as his physical counterpart Esau Edom. All right, he indeed is being the deceiver, as he has been for centuries, right, since the beginning of time, since the beginning of 2 Ezra 6 and 9. All right, now in this day and age, you have to be more vigilant than ever. And really, it's not only when we're out in the highways and hedges, when brothers are out camping, but as well as on the, like I said before, on the World Wide Web, on these very iPhones, these devices, man, news. All right, and the thing is, really, it's like and I said this years ago, brothers as well as I said this years ago, that we're spiritual weathermen, right? We can't forecast or talk about a forecast that's coming towards our way, and here it is, nothing happens. And this expectation of truth is just it's something that cannot be that expectation, it can't just go away, pretty much. All right, people have to know that we indeed speak of the truth. And the thing is, if we're hated for it, hey, more power to us, you know, because nevertheless, at the end of the day, it's a moth, right? All right, it's just the words that are written, all right, and that's it. And as we were before, second Ezra is faithful and true. All right. So that's pretty much the whole point. All right, I had a lot of scriptures for this topic. Just it's just admonishment, just for Akin to be careful in this day and age. All right, especially with artificial intelligence and all. All right, and these different wiles of the devil. That's something that anyone could easily fall into, man. So for the purpose of truth, I'm gonna close out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash, double honors again to the apostles and elders. I agree most of them going to teach and we're well. And peace and blessings be unto you, fellow Akim brothers. But also push out this truth and truth, faith, and sincerity. And with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.